Oh, you want to play psycho killer? Can I be the helpless victim?
Cross your eyes and scream, man. Scream for your life.
Welcome, Scream Queens, Kings, and Things. Whether you're screaming at movies or the real-life stuff, I'm your host, Jenica Olin. This is my 63rd episode, and my theme for April is Beauty is a Beast. Technically, when this releases, it will be May 1st. It's still considered an April episode, as far as this podcast is concerned. For April, I have been exploring beauty standards through the lens of horror. For my real-world horror example, I want to talk about anti-aging tech billionaire culture outside Hollywood, but deeply connected to its beauty standards. Biohacker Brian Johnson's before and after transformation is the result of his Project Blueprint, an intense anti-aging regimen costing over $2 million annually. His transition from typical Silicon Valley executive in 2018 to his current bio-optimized state has sparked significant debate regarding his appearance and biological health. First, we've got his facial structure and volume. Johnson previously appeared gaunt due to extreme calorie restriction under 2,000 calories daily, which reduced his facial fat. To combat that, he launched Project Babyface, involving fat-derived regenerative injectables to restore youthful volume. Hair health. Despite genetic predisposition to baldness and graying starting in his late 20s, Johnson claims to have reversed hair loss and restored natural color through specialized vitamins, nutrients like omega-3, and red light therapy. Skin and complexion. His current regimen includes daily mineral sunscreen, retinol, DNA repair serums, and laser treatments to undo any sun damage and improve skin resilience. Biological markers are also part of his scheme. Johnson claims to have reversed his biological age by over 5 years, maintaining a speed of aging at 0.48, meaning he ages less than 6 months for every chronological year. This is according to him. I have no idea what the science behind that looks like. The shift from his before state between the years 2018 to 2021 to his after state, which is present, involved a complete lifestyle overhaul. His nutrition was extremely restrictive, with a vegan diet of 70 pounds of pureed vegetables per month and over 100 daily supplements. Daily supplements. That's insane. A precise 8:30 p.m. cold, blacked out room to maximize REM and deep sleep cycles. Yes, sleep is important, but to be that regimented is a little insane. And he also is constantly monitoring his health. He's constantly tracked by a team of 30 doctors, including regular MRIs and DNA analysis. He's basically made himself a science experiment. This is the wealthy elites chasing literal immortality through science. At least he's not killing people yet. Today, I'll be covering the 1992 Death Becomes Her, written by Martin Donovan and David Coep, directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Meryl Streep, Bruce Willis, and Goldie Hawn. The budget was $55 million, and it grossed an estimated $150 million. I'm rounding up. The tagline for this movie is, "Some people will go to any length to stay young forever, but Madeline Ashton and her old friend Helen Sharp are about to go too far." Some quick trivia about the film. Meryl Streep accidentally scarred Goldie Hawn's cheek with a shovel during the fight scene. A bra was built to create the effect where Meryl Streep's breasts become higher and firmer after drinking the potion, but the effect didn't look realistic enough. In order to get the shot, Streep's dresser stood behind her out of camera sight and pushed her breasts into position. In the opening scene, Meryl Streep's character is starring in a musical version of Sweet Bird of Youth 1962, a play by Tennessee Williams about an aging actress who pines for her lost youth. This film won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects, defeating Batman Returns 1992 and Alien 3 1992. Animatronic puppets for Meryl Streep's head were created and used for the scene in her resurrection, in which a resurrected Madeline confronts Ernest. It was one of the earliest implemented effects where practical and CGI worked together. This was originally going to be a sequel to Tales from the Crypt 1972, a favorite Halloween classic of director Robert Zemeckis when he was a young man. The trailer features the theme from Tales from the Crypt 1989 by Danny Elfman. Even though her character, Madeline Ashton, is portrayed as a 50 or over woman throughout most of the film, Meryl Streep was in fact 43 when she shot this film. At Helen Sharp's book signing event, upon closer inspection, there's a brooch pin on one of the straps of Helen's dress. The brooch is the same brooch that Liselle gives to all her clients. This is a subtle clue that Helen had already long taken the potion between her time in the mental institution and when she sees Madeline and Ernest again. After many years, Leslie tells Madeline that after taking the potion, she is allowed to be in public for 10 years, but must retire from public life at the end of that period so that people won't become suspicious of Madeline's ever-youthful appearance. Since Helen took the potion in October 26, 1985, 7 years before Madeline took it, she would have had 3 more years of enjoying public life with her very youthful appearance before retiring. If you're new here, each episode will have an intro, brief synopsis of the movie, and analysis of the film. Spoiler alert, I've made it my job to spoil the shit out of this movie.
Is that someone?
It's Madeline Ashton. Oh, she was a big star in the 60s.
I thought she was dead.
Oh, madam, you look younger every day.
Thank you, Rose.
But Madeline Ashton and her old friend Helen Sharp
I've lost men to her before.
Mad hell!
are about to go too far.
A touch of magic. Drink that potion, and you'll never grow even one day older.
Bottoms up.
The film opens with Madeline Ashton performing on Broadway in an elaborate dance number. In the audience are her childhood friend, Helen Sharp, and her fiancé, Ernest Manville. Helen, shortly after, feels that Ernest has fallen for her friend's glamorous charms, and her fears soon prove to be correct when their engagement falls apart and Ernest marries Madeline. Devastated, Helen spirals into a deep depression. She isolates herself, gaining a significant amount of weight, and becomes obsessed with Madeline, spending her days watching a film in which Madeline's character dies, replaying the scene repeatedly. After being evicted, Helen is committed to a mental institution, where she speaks of nothing but Madeline. During therapy, she is advised to remove Madeline from her life completely, which she takes to heart. Years later, Madeline's life has begun to unravel. Her acting career is fading, her marriage to Ernest is strained, and she's having an affair with a younger man. Ernest, now an alcoholic mortician, is deeply unhappy. The couple receives an invitation to a book party hosted by Helen. Expecting to see her former friend still broken, Madeline is shocked to find Helen's transformation thin, confident, and successful. Disturbed by Helen's sudden transformation and fearful of her own aging, Madeline seeks help after a failed visit to a spa. She's given a card that leads her to Liselle von Rumen, a mysterious woman who offers her a potion that promises eternal youth and immortality. Madeline drinks it and immediately regains her youthful appearance. with Leslie warning her to take care of her body. Meanwhile, Helen visits Ernest and reveals her plan to kill Madeline, proposing to stage her death as an accident. That night, during a heated argument at home, Ernest pushes Madeline down a staircase. Her body is severely broken and she appears dead. However, she soon raises again, alive despite her injuries. At the hospital, doctors are unable to detect a pulse or heartbeat. Realizing something is wrong, Ernest takes Madeline home and attempts to restore her appearance using mortuary techniques. During this process, Helen arrives and Madeline overhears their plot against her. In retaliation, Madeline shoots Helen, leaving a massive hole through her body. To their shock, Helen also survived, revealing that she too has taken the potion. The two women confront each other and engage in a violent fight, damaging their already fragile bodies. Eventually, they reconcile and turn to Ernest, asking him to repair them. He agrees on the condition that he will be allowed to leave afterward. As time passes, Madeline and Helen realize that their bodies require constant maintenance to maintain the illusion of life. They attempt to force Ernest to stay, but he refuses. After knocking him unconscious, they bring him to Laselle's mansion, where Laselle encourages him to take the potion as well. Ernest declines, unwilling to live forever. He escapes, leaving Madeline and Helen behind. The two women attempt to pursue him, but soon realize he is gone for good. Left with no one else, they are forced to rely on each other. 37 years later, Ernest dies after living a full and meaningful life, remarrying, raising a family, and dedicating himself to helping others. At his funeral, his accomplishments are honored, and he is remembered for the impact he made during his lifetime. In the back of the church, Madeline and Helen watch, still alive but physically deteriorated despite their efforts to maintain themselves. As they leave, they continue to bicker. Outside, during an argument at the top of the staircase, Helen slips and grabs Madeline, causing them both to fall. Their bodies shatter upon impact, breaking into pieces. Even in this state, they continue their conversation unchanged.
Do you remember where you parked the car?
All right, so now it's time to talk horror, and my guest today is Plastic Martyr. She's an actress, recording artist, and human rights activist. So what are you working on, and where can people find you?
Right now I'm working on Surviving, so not a lot of work happening in Hollywood, especially for the dolls. So I am just kind of hiding out safely until all this shit show blows over and we can just resume our lives. So right now, not a lot, but you can find me anywhere on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, if that's still a thing, and Facebook, all under my name, Plastic Martyr.
Yes, I would say surviving is definitely key, especially right now. I think that's a lot, especially for the dolls. Like, that's all we can ask. Just keep fighting the good fight, and we'll keep being here to support you.
Yes, and for any of the dolls out there or any trans person, non-binary person watching this, don't give up. Don't let them win. Let's fight through this.
Yes, let's. Mm-hmm. Please. And, there are so many great things that I see within horror where the trans community is being more included. It's small little things that are happening, but it's starting to become more prevalent, or maybe it's just like showing up in my feed more. I don't know.
Well, I just saw my friend Josie is in a new horror movie. I think Faces of Death or something she's in. So everyone go support that movie when it comes out. Yeah, the dolls are starting to get a little more representation in horror.
Yeah. it's very much needed. And, you know, horror is supposed to be the inclusive space. So whenever I come across like a very conservative person in horror, I'm like, get the fuck out. No one wants you here. You are not welcome.
Exactly. I played a cis woman in the sci-fi thriller. So that was very like liberal to cast a trans woman to play a cis role. And I love that. I played Wanda in Battle for Pandora, and that was really, really fun and exciting. And everyone on that set was so warm and welcoming and sweet. And I just love the horror community so much.
Let's get into this movie. So we're talking about 1992, Death Becomes Her. It was written by Martin Donovan and David Keop and directed by Robert Zemeckis. I don't know if I said any of that right. I mean, this is a cult classic, or maybe it's not even a cult classic. It's just a classic. Wow. And now it's on Broadway, which I want to see it on Broadway.
I haven't seen it yet, but it is one of my favorite movies. And I kept hearing little rumors and whispers that they were going to do a reboot. And I really hope they don't. This is one of those movies that does not need to be touched. I don't care who you have attached to the film. Don't touch it, please.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, I have heard that it was going to have a reboot also. And it's just one of those timeless movies that for the time, it was so innovative when it came to the prosthetics and the not CGI, but well, they did combine CGI and prosthetics. And that was like very revolutionary to combine them at the time. They were so inventive. And Meryl Streep, you cannot replace her. Who are you going to get to fill her shoes?
Exactly. Not like she was brilliant, as was Goldie Hawn. And together, brilliant. You can't recreate that chemistry and their talent and their craft on their own. They're brilliant, brilliant actors. But in that film, each one of them was so spectacular in their role. And then you had Isabella Rossellini with the necklace thing. And she's like, how old do you think? And she's brilliant. And even Bruce Willis was amazing. And you can't recreate it. I'm so sorry.
No, you can't. No. Just leave it alone, you guys. Leave it the fuck alone.
Please.
We need more space for like the original ideas that are out there because there is so much stuff that hasn't been done yet. Right now, Hollywood just wants to keep recycling and regurgitating. And like, they're talking about redoing The Fly. They're talking about redoing all these like classics. It's like, fucking stop it.
I even feel like with the sequel to Devil Wears Prada, it's like, we didn't need that. Like, I'm grateful. It's going to be cute. It's going to be fun, but it's never going to surpass the original or even come close to it. It's just going to be like a way to make money in the box office. We didn't need that.
No.
Not everything needs a sequel.
No, it doesn't. Mm-mm. Starting with beauty as performance. So we open up on the Broadway and we've got Madeline Ashton, who's played by Meryl Streep. And she's introduced on stage, literally performing beauty, glamour, and desirability. And our theme here is beauty is constructed and performed. The film opens with her performing on a poorly received Broadway musical. The audience is leaving and they're disparaging her, like saying, talk about The Walking Dead. And it's kind of a foreshadowing as well to call her like The Walking Dead. But they're so harsh with her.
I personally loved it with the I see me. Yeah, see me. It was so campy and cute with the leg. And she was like, oh, I loved it. And I like what I see.
Mm-hmm. For me, I felt like it was giving Madonna.
Marilyn Monroe, Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, very much. With the stairs and the pink dress. And clearly they were drawing on that Marilyn Monroe kind of, homage.
I mean, and that scene in the beginning too. Yeah, her whole song, her whole dance. I mean, she looks fantastic. And then for people to like be talking shit, it's like, oh my God, like, but nothing's changed. That is still the dynamic today.
I was just going to say that, like, no matter what, you cannot shit straight when you are in the public eye. And I've even learned that myself. Like, I think I'm a fairly decent human being. And generally, for the most part, my takes are politically correct and on the correct side. But even with that, I am constantly met with opposition and people telling me I'm an idiot, that I'm disgusting. They're trying to cancel me because of this. And it's like, you cannot please everybody. And also same with my movies. Like, I have people come up to me saying you were the best part of that movie. I have reviews saying you were the worst part of that movie, and that's all fine. Like you're allowed your opinion. So nothing really has changed. And I felt like in that opening scene with Madeline Ashton, talk about waking the dead, and they step on the playbill thing. And then you cut to her and she's so fabulous. The girls and the gays would have been eating that performance up, and we still are, however many years later.
Yeah. I was thinking about actually trying to do I was going to do like a lip sync video for it to like introduce, just because I'm covering this movie, but I feel like I can't do it well. Like I would not do justice. I cannot match Marilyn Streep. Like I can't.
Because she has that little bit of a narcissism to her where she just really is buying her own shit when she's performing. And that's the brilliant thing, is she's just like, I am fabulous and I do see me and I like what I see. And it's like, that's so hard to actually capture unless you are like really a narcissist.
Yeah. And then so following the show, she's in her dressing room and she's singing a lullaby version to herself. Wrinkled.
Wrinkle, little star. And she's using the thing.
Yes. Hope they never see the scars. Like, it's so perfect. It's so campy and good. And it has such heavy commentary on, beauty standards and aging in Hollywood.
Absolutely. The movie in general is a fantastic metaphor and representation for that. Like the unbelievable standard. And it's only gotten worse. I mean, now we've got Ozempic, which is literally turning people into human mummies. But like the beauty standards are not only unhealthy, they're impossible to achieve, impossible standards. And that is placed on mostly, it's placed on men too, but mostly women and young girls and women in this industry, in this world, in our society. And that movie displays that perfectly, that what we're willing to go through to try to stay young and beautiful, including if that means being dead. I love that movie.
Yes. Yeah. When I was doing research into like plastic surgery and stuff for women and men, it's like 92% is women. So It's so disproportionately geared towards women. And even like you go into Ulta or any of these cosmetic stores, you're starting to kind of see men's faces on the anti-aging side, but you really don't see it's not really marketed towards them.
Yeah, the patriarchy really favors on punching down on women and telling us that we're ugly unless we fit these impossible beauty standards. Like I noticed that with plastic surgery too. Obviously, I've had quite a bit. But when I was going for my surgeries, obviously I wanted everything to look extremely natural. Like I was just born cis. I didn't want to look done. Explain that in the consultations to a lot of these surgeons, not the surgeons I ended up using. These are the people I did not swipe right on. But I would have my consultations with them, and mostly they were men. And the men would constantly be trying to push me to go bigger, go more snatched, do a bigger lip, do a lip lift, and I'm just like, you don't seem to understand. I don't want to look done. I want to look like I was naturally born with these things. And they would, constantly just be pushing. And I was like, ew, I hate that. Like, stop pushing your misogynistic view of what women should look like on your patients. I didn't end up using those doctors because, anyway, I got sidetracked. So sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. No, you do look very natural. I mean, I think you look snatched. You don't need to look like blown up to look snatched. I think that's
more I've learned. Less is more.
Yes.
The doctors kept trying to push more surgeries on me. Obviously, they wanted more money, but they want me to fit this image of what they thought women should look like. And I'm like, I already like what I look like. I don't need to do that.
And I think people might think because I'm covering, beauty standards and everything that I'm against plastic surgery. And I'm not. I'm not against plastic surgery. I'm against it being a standard for women.
Absolutely. And I would recommend, as somebody who's had a bunch of plastic surgery, if you don't need it, don't get it. Please don't get it. It's so, as good as the results are, there's always complications with them, or there's things that don't work the same way. Like, again, I had my face done and I love the results. I would do it a million times over again, but there's a lot of areas on my face that are still numb years later, or muscles that I feel tight, or like I have to get Botox injected into a certain side because anyway, it's just like, you can't beat natural. You can't, less is more. The enemy, my mother always says the enemy of good is better. So if it's already good, you don't need to do better because sometimes that screws it up more. So yeah, I mean, I love plastic surgery, but I also feel like if you don't need it, don't get it.
Yeah. And it's just like the shame of, we've got like a double entendre going on because there's shame if you don't get it and there's shame if you do.
Absolutely.
It's like there is a halfway point where it's just like, how about let's make realistic standards when it comes to looks and aging, especially aging, because I'm going to be 39. I don't know how old you are.
I'm 36. I'm turning 37 in July.
Okay. Yes. You look like you're in your 20s.
Oh my God. Thank you. Likewise.
Well, thank you. I don't think I do, but I am aging better than a lot of people my age, I would say. You know, a lot of it has to do with genetics and, you know, you get lucky with that stuff. There's just so much pressure to look a certain way, to get, like, I don't want to get rid of my wrinkles. I don't want to.
What wrinkles, girl? I don't see a wrinkle inside. Thing is, like, that's what I mean. Like, I don't even see what you're seeing. And then it's like, we have all this pressure of, oh my God, I must not be beautiful because I have a line here or this. And it's like, that is misogyny and the patriarchy doing its work. I don't know where I was, but I remember recently I was hearing a young girl, she probably had to be like between 11 and 14, talking to her friend about literally plastic surgery that she wanted to get because she felt ugly. I'm like, girl, you haven't even gone through puberty yet, I don't think. Like, what are you getting done? Like, it's sick, the pressure that's put on women in this country.
Yes. And I remember being a teen and like feeling ugly and feeling like, oh, I'm going to have to get all this work done, or hearing my friends talk about it, think they have to get their boobs done because they don't have big enough boobs, or it's like, we're like 13.
I know.
Like, I just got my period. Like, what are you talking about? But it makes that the insecurities, it's bred into you from such a young age that this idea of perfection and what society wants of you, it's so hard, even for young kids, especially because they're going through these awkward phases with like pimples and they, you know, you do look very awkward, but, you know, and you see that plastic surgery or whatever can get rid of those things. But it's like, you have to actually grow up first before you can.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I think I look better in my 30s than I did in my 20s and in my teens or whatever. Like, and I always thought like, oh my God, once I reach 30, that's it. I'm old. It's like, no, girl, that's when you start living. Like, I actually can't wait for 40s. I think 40s are going to be amazing. 40s are the new 30s. 30s are the new 20s. It's like, the more we evolve, the longer we live and the more we're able to age gracefully, I think, between knowing stuff about diet, knowing stuff about just like even beauty products, using moisturizers, using eye creams, sunscreen, staying out of the sun. Like, I avoid the sun like the plague, obviously. And it's like, it ages you very quickly. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't eat processed foods. All that goes into looking good. But I enjoy aging because it means I'm alive. And like, aging is beautiful because you're alive. That means you've lived. And that is the most beautiful thing in this world, is to live. So I have a very different view on aging than our society really like tries to paint it. Everyone thinks getting old is a bad thing. But again, if you don't get old, it means you're dead, which I think this film kind of represents.
Yeah, 100%. Madeline Ashton, she's portraying a woman who's in her 50s or older throughout most of the film. Although her character was written to be at least 50, she was only 43. Like, Meryl Streep was only 43 playing this role. They were making it look like someone younger was older. I don't know, like this weird beauty standard of already making a 50-year-old feel like they have to look better than they would naturally before anything, you know, aging someone up whenever they're 40, like that's a kind of a big jump.
In Hollywood back then, in like the late 80s, early 90s, I mean, it was very rare that actresses got work past, like, already in your mid 30s, you were getting cast as a mom. And then 40s and 50s, you were a grandma. Like you were, writing Murder, She Wrote is where you were getting your gigs, Golden Girls. But like, what's crazy is I saw a thing and it was a picture of the Golden Girls. And it was like, these women are the same age as these women. And then the other women were the Housewives of Beverly Hills. And it's like, we've come such a long way from age, Yeah.
It really, the way in which technology, our eating habits, everything has changed the way we age. It's kind of crazy. And you can see it in real time. And it's almost like evolution is real.
Absolutely. And again, like I said, I think the more knowledge we have and the more of an understanding we have of how to stay healthier and, maintain beauty standards by doing non-surgical things like moisturizers and serums and all that bullshit. And that does play a big part in it, is how you take care of your body. And I always tell people when they're young, and I see these young kids smoking or drinking every night, and I'm like, that is going to take a toll on you. And I know you think you're so cool now, but when you outgrow this phase, which you will, you're going to regret it because you're going to look 20 years older than you already do. So we get this one body, and this body is our vessel, and how you treat that vessel determines how you age and how you look and how your life progresses. So I've always really taken very good care of my body because it's the one thing that can't really be replaced.
Yes, this is very true. And it will cost you everything if you don't.
Absolutely.
So we get beauty as competition between women, and, women are pitted against each other when it comes to, who's the most beautiful and who's the most desirable. And especially like we were talking about with going for a role.
Mm-hmm.
And, it comes down to like these tiny minuscule things where they're judging you. And it's a cruel world out there.
Very. And the industry is even crueler.
Yeah. So we get Helen Sharp, who is played by Goldie Hawn, and she loses Ernest to Madeline almost instantly. And it's this thing where she set it up. Madeline uses her career as an actress and her physical beauty to outshine Helen's bookishness and take her boyfriends. So they've had this competition ever since they were like teenagers. They kind of go back into their past. And there's like this one-upmanship between the two of them. Madeline does this because she's fueled by a lifelong toxic rivalry that stems from their childhood and teenage years. Helen intentionally brings her boyfriend to meet Madeline to see if they can pass the Madeline Ashton test, essentially testing if they're immune to her charms. And Madeline's interest often peaks when she realizes a man has something she needs. For example, she steals Ernest because he is a world-renowned plastic surgeon who can keep her remaining young and youthful. And she's already like has the insecurities about her aging. So Helen takes this really personal. She equates losing Ernest to losing her own worth. So she's already like attaching herself to a man for her value.
Yeah.
And Madeline's drive to steal Helen's boyfriends stems from her envy of Helen's wealth and class. So what are your thoughts on like that whole rivalry between the two of them?
I know so many girls like that who have always tried to steal my boyfriends, or, I wouldn't really trust leaving my boyfriends alone with them, because it's not that I wouldn't trust my boyfriend. I wouldn't trust this skank over here who's constantly throwing herself. I remember I went to one of my friend's birthday parties a couple years back, and we were at some rooftop lounge in LA, and she had this one friend there, and I was there with my boyfriend, and my boyfriend's very into me and has no eyes for anyone else. We've been together 7 years and he doesn't see anyone else, only me.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So we were snuggling on this bed, on this rooftop, and this girl who was already drunk as a skunk comes by, and she's wearing this little vest, and she's constantly just letting her boob pop out. And then she'd be like, "Oh my God, my boob popped out." And I'm just like, oh, look at that. And she's constantly just doing it in front of my boyfriend. And I'm just like, girl, good luck with that. So I know girls like that. And I think that Madeline was they constantly had this history of where she's always stealing Goldie, Helen's boyfriends and all that. So I feel like that's just her personality is like, it's almost like a hunt for her. She's like, it's a challenge. I'm going to take that man and I want him for me because I want him to be interested in me. I have to be the most beautiful person. Again, she's a very narcissistic character and everything is there for her to serve her. She's got main character syndrome and she doesn't want Helen to dim her shine. And she's got to constantly be the shiniest object in the room. So I think that is so on brand for Madeline Ashton's character to just be this competitive little cunt who steals other people's men. And, I thought it was super, but it also sets the tone of the story.
Yeah. The women who try to steal other people's men, it's like they're insecure. They always have to be the center of attention because if he doesn't want me, then that means that there's something wrong with me instead of it being this other person is also desirable and beautiful and we can both be desirable and beautiful.
What is my worth if a man doesn't want me, And that's basically what she's saying is like, I know that I'm valuable and worth something if I could still steal other girls' men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so whenever she gets denied by her younger partner, because she's like cheating on Ernest later on, and he says something about like, people think that we look ridiculous together. That is a pivotal breaking point for her because now she's being called old and she's being told not only is she not desirable, but she looks ridiculous with this younger man.
That, other people's opinions about her matter so much because she wants to be perfect. God forbid somebody has something negative to say about her.
Yeah. So we get to Helen spiral into isolation and compulsively watching Madeline on screen, like her death. She keeps replaying that scene where she's being strangled to death, and it's hilarious. Like the cops are busting in the door. And she's gained a lot of weight. She's like severely obese at this point. It's like her whole entire psyche is pressing the replay button on Madeline and Ernest and that whole thing. And it's really hilarious whenever they're in the, I guess it's a psych ward. It's her turn to share and she says Madeline's name and all the people around her start screaming and they're like, ah.
You think I like talking about Madeline Ashton? It's like, do you think we like hearing it? Yeah. I love that scene.
They're so sick of it. It's so funny the way that it was written, the way that they deliver the lines.
Yeah, because they ask her, they're like, reluctantly, they're like, Helen, do you have anything that you want to share? And she's like, I'd like to talk about Madeline Ashton. And then everybody starts screaming because they've heard it so much.
Yeah. There have probably been times in my life where I've yelled about a person and went on for probably far too long. And people are like, just shut the fuck up about it already. Can you please move on?
Yep, been there.
I've definitely been there. I understand Helen in that way, but never to the level that she escalates to. She kind of has this aha moment when the doctor tells her, frustrated by Helen's lack of progress, her doctor says she'll never recover unless she eliminates Madeline from her life.
Mm-hmm.
And the word eliminates gets taken a little too literally.
And she made it. There's a saying, revenge is a dish best served cold. Well, Helen served it with ice on it.
Yes. She was...
The best revenge is looking good. So takes all of that into consideration.
Yeah. So then we get back to Madeline and her fear of aging and loss of relevance. She's like clinging to youth, cheating with this young man, like I had mentioned earlier. Her and Ernest obviously have no interest in each other. She is distant and cold in downright vengeful to him. At this point, I almost see her as like blaming him for her appearance. He did not keep her beautiful enough. Like that's what he was there for. He's not holding up his end of the bargain.
Yeah.
It's like 14 years later, and her once glamorous life has dissolved into a cycle of vanity and desperation. She goes to the salon, or it's not a salon, but the spa.
The beauty spa, yeah.
And she's desperate, telling the girl she wants this procedure that you're only supposed to get every few weeks or something like that. And it's only been a few days.
She's like, well, I can only do it to you once in a 6 months period.
Mm-hmm.
And then she like yells at her. She's like, you're standing there with your 22-year-old skin and your tits like rocks. And she's like, makeup. And she's like, I could do your makeup. She's like, makeup is pointless.
Oh my God.
They have the whole movie memorized.
Yeah, you are eating this up. Like, you are such an actress. Like, I am not. And I'm like, yes, please perform it for me. You are doing so good.
All my gays know that that's my favorite movie. So when they come over, we just either watch that. We speak in quotes. So like all my like gays, we always speak in quotes of either First Wives Club or Death Becomes Her or Romeo and Michelle.
She's very envious of this younger lady in the room. And then suddenly there's this man who I'm presuming is like the owner. He's very mysterious. Somehow he has this card and this information. He's like, listen, I understand where you're coming from. At this point, she's kind of over it. And she's like, whatever. If you can't give me something right now, I don't want whatever this is that you're giving me. Before she even calls the number, there is Helen's revenge. Helen's revenge is being beautiful and thin and having all these things that Madeline wants. And so the theme is self-improvement is weaponized as revenge rather than healing. Helen reappears at a party for her new book, and she's shocking everyone. Everyone's like, oh my God, how old is she? They're all just like kind of talking in the corners, and Madeline hears this and she's automatically jealous because everyone wants Helen. And she's like, what the hell? Helen is this like bookish nerd. Why? Like, she literally wrote a book. Why are people talking about her like this?
Yeah, I love this scene when her and Ernest pull up and she sees like a crowd of people around. She goes, what did she do? Hire extras? And then they part and you see Helen looking amazing. And she's like, we're leaving, and grabs Ernest to leave. And then she's like, mad? And then she turns around and goes, hell. And that was their little thing with each other. As they would always go, mad? Hell. And then it was too late for her to leave because she's already been spotted, which I know that very well. You know how many parties I've tried to escape and then the person who's throwing the party spots me before I'm able to leave and now I have to stay? It sucks.
And then this like frenemies rivalry thing, it's so toxic. And I feel like so many people can relate to that dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I avoid that like the plague. Like I won't even look at you. Like I'm the kind of person where I'll be like, oh, don't talk to me. Be like, oh, nope.
Yeah. Like in Hollywood, there's always this like weird competitiveness. And I'm not a very competitive person. And I think it's because like all my family's from New York and the East Coast is very different than the West Coast. And even though I live in LA, I was raised very New York. So I just don't have that fake kind of like self-aggrandizing. I need to like talk about my resume and impress you. I don't give a shit if I impress you or not. Either I do or I don't. I don't care. So like, I'm very real with people, and in LA, they're not like that. So there's always this competitiveness amongst my peers. And it's always so bizarre to me because I'm just like, dude, I don't know what we're competing for, but like, you know, I'm good. We're good. And they're always trying to like one up and subtly like throw like daggers and put you down and like these like weird frenemy kind of ways. And it's like, it's really why I keep my circle very small. I have like 2 best friends and I keep it as that. And very weird. So I so felt that scene when they're together and it's that frenemy vibe. And it's so like, I can feel it. It's palpable.
Yeah. I feel like that's not in me. Maybe I'm too Florida. We'll just like be like, get the fuck out. You're not invited.
Yeah.
Who told you could be here? Because no, we don't get along.
Yeah, I always love just making them think that they're like doing something, that they're owning me or whatever, and just showing like I completely unfazed by whatever they're doing and watching them just kind of come unhinged in the moment. It's this like really like interesting, almost dark psychology kind of thing where I just like don't give in to their little digs or whatever. And I watch them implode in real time, and it's so funny. And it's like, I'm not going to give you what you want.
Yeah, no, like I literally don't give a shit.
Yeah. And instead, I'm just going to make you look like a fool. So
She's gone through this transformation and she wants to destabilize Madeline. And she's got this whole plan because, you know, she has to eliminate her. And so she starts like with the mind games and she goes to Madeline. She's like, I don't blame you. He's a man. It's always the man's fault. All these things, blah, 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 blah. And it's very clever the way she does it. She's very convincing. I would not trust her.
Conniving even. Yeah.
And then she goes to Ernest and she's like, I know it was all Madeline. She was tempting you.
She's a woman from Newark, for Christ's sake.
Yes. It's so well done. And I love the way she like plays this game between the two of them. Madeline knows, like, she's smart. She knows what she's doing.
Absolutely. She's iconic with it.
And Ernest is just like, Ernest is a dumb guy that just, he's thinking about instant gratification no matter where he goes. He sees that Madeline's beautiful again and that he's got this horrible, miserable life. So she's like dangling this carrot in front of him and he's willing to go after it because he is a very shallow man.
Yep. He's a man, period.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So he sees Helen looking amazing and the heart eyes happen. And you really can convince him to do anything at this point, knowing he's in the palm of your hand, girl.
Yeah. I mean, it was just that easy. If you have a real partner, a person who loves you, it wouldn't be that easy.
Exactly. But they also showed in like the beginning before they arrived to the party already, they're like going at it when he's breathing next to her and she's like, could you just not breathe? They're already like at each other's throats and clearly don't have a good relationship. So they did show that aspect where it's like, all right, he's going to be so easy to just like manipulate.
Yeah, because he's so miserable in that relationship. And, you know, they kind of say if he's a cheater, if he cheats on them, then he'll cheat on you. And it's kind of that way. Like it was so easy for Madeline to take him away from Helen. So yeah, it's also going to be easy for Helen to take him from Madeline.
Yeah, years ago, I was dating this guy who lied to me the entire time we were together. I didn't know he had a fiance in a different state. When I found that out, that was a surprise. Years later, our paths crossed again. He wasn't with her anymore. And then he was trying to get back with me. And I said, babe, I will never trust you. You, lied to me that you had somebody on the side, but you also cheated on her with me. What makes you think that you're not going to do that again with me? I am not interested in ever going down that road with you.
Yeah, believe them the first time.
Exactly.
Yeah. I never got into a trap like that per se, but I definitely had. My sister was dating this guy who had a bunch of kids. Turns out he had a woman who was pregnant as he was like dating my sister and all this stuff. And then even after they like broke up and he stayed with the other girl, he like came back to her and was like, oh, I left her. But then they were still living together and she like kept going back to him. Like, can you please stop with this? Because it's so toxic and he's never going to change.
He's lying and manipulating. If his lips are moving, he is lying.
Yep. Do not trust those men.
Ever.
Or women for that part. I mean, anyone who has that pattern of behavior. So after that, we get the fantasy of eternal youth. We have the potion.
Lascelles. Oh.
Lascelles, yes.
I love her. She's so fabulous with the little black bob and that big collared thing she's wearing. And she's like, how old would you say I am? Don't try and flatter me. Like, she's so amazing. I love Isabella Rossellini.
She is amazing. And she's also in the show The Beauty. Have you seen that one?
I actually auditioned for that show. And there was a chance I was going to be in it. I didn't actually watch the show yet, though, but I did audition for it.
You should have been on it.
I should have. That was one of those things that I feel was very political. And I think it went to Lux Pascal, which I'm not upset about because she's amazing. So congrats, Lux. But it was one of those things that I feel like I know my audition was incredible because it literally made my coach cry when I did it. It was such a beautiful scene. And the casting directors were like blown away by it. I did it live on camera for them. It wasn't a taped one. They loved it. And I know it was just because she's more popular right now than I am. So whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I did not see her in that, but I heard she's in it.
She is in it. So Lascelles offers Madeline the immortality potion. And I think the number she wrote on the paper was like $1 million.
I don't remember how much it was. All I remember from that scene, which I love that scene, is she's like, and now for a warning. And Madeline's like, now a warning?
Yes, that is the most iconic scene out of all of it. It's like she goes through this whole process. She like gives her a little bit on her hand. So she gets like a little bit of a taste and then she's hooked, right? And then like I would be so mad. I'd be like, I just drank this goddamn potion and now you're giving me a warning.
It's so good. And she did it so cocky too. She's like, holds the thing. She's like, bottoms up and shoots it. And then she's like, now a warning.
Yes, it's so great. I love it. So this potion stops aging in its tracks and it even like retroactively makes you younger. You'll never age. You'll never die.
Their favorite part of that is good. And she's in the mirror and like things start shrinking and she's like, and she turns around to the guy who's standing behind her, one of those big muscly guys. And she's like, I'm a girl. And he looks at her and he goes, shh. It was just the most like bizarre scene. It was just like, this is like naked man going, shh. And she's like, I'm a girl. I love it.
And then her boobs like,
yeah, they all like rise up, her butt firms.
Yes. Like the sound effects to go with it are so perfect. The sound design of this movie, the visuals, like the men that were by her side. I mean, it was very much like Egyptian goddess.
Yes.
With like her two pharaohs by her side that are her like protectors.
Yep.
And they're immaculate.
Yeah. And it's like all of them you could feel are like otherworldly. They're immortal. They're not human.
No.
Really.
They are way too perfect to be human.
Yeah.
So the rules are after 10 years of public beauty, you have to fake your death and retire from public view to maintain this secret, which, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be hard for you to fake your death because you're kind of already dead.
Right.
But then I also started thinking, what if you get buried alive?
Oh my God, that would be so scary.
Right?
But I have so I got really stoned one night and I was watching the movie and I was just like, what if this actually happens? Because so many celebrities you see that just have these mysterious deaths. And then there's always like conspiracy theories like Michael Jackson. It's like there's paparazzi footage of him getting out of a thing and getting out of the coroner van and jumping into this thing. And it's like, ooh. And it's like, what if this is really happening? And everyone's faking their own death. And they're like really on these like eternal youth things. I don't know. Conspiracy theories.
I don't think that we have an eternal youth, like the fountain of youth yet, but we're getting pretty close.
Yeah, I think Korean beauty is the closest thing we have to that right now.
True.
Korean beauty it can't be beat. I'm so sorry.
And then there's like the body care. She warns that, you have to take care of your body because you are inhabiting it for a very long time, like forever. And, even though you're not going to age, you can still destroy your body. She learns that lesson way too fast.
Literally, I think like that night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She doesn't even go full 24 hours without being dead.
Because she go home. Hopefully I'm not jumping the gun here. She goes home to like now leave Ernest, right? She's like, I'm out. You're a flaccid, which is also a great scene. She's like, you're a flaccid undertaker. Their tongue going. And then So yeah, she then goes home to confront Ernest that she's leaving and she looks fabulous or whatever. And then she has that little tiff with him on the stairs. And then she is like stumbling, right? She's like stumbling down the stairs and she's like, Ernest, help me. And he goes to like poke her and she falls down the stairs, breaks her neck.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he was going to help her. Like there was a moment where he thought about helping her and then she like starts bickering at him again and like started calling him names again. And then he's like, oh, fuck it. Like, goodbye. And the way that she tumbles down the stairs too, every crack, every bone, that the way the body's contorted, I don't know how they did that, but it looks so good.
Oh, good. And then like her neck snaps on the thing and it's like, and then she's like laying all sprawled out on the floor. It was so good.
I loved it. Yeah, the slow motion plunge, like all of it. It was just flawless.
Including the fashion, like even in that scene, that fabulous pink thing she's wearing over that black bodysuit. I'm just like the fashion in this movie, brilliant.
You know, I will mention the fact that like he doesn't notice that she's like looks so much younger and is so beautiful. I think she was also upset about that a little bit. She's kind of flaunting her new beauty and he's just like drinking his alcohol and I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you. I want out of this. And
he's already checked out. He's checked out.
He like puts his drink down and
falls down the stairs. And I think then that's when the doorbell, or no, doesn't he calls Helen. Yeah,
he calls Helen and Helen's the smart one. So Helen's like, why did you call me? Because they're going to check the phone records. And now at the time of death and all these things, it's going to look like we conspired to kill her. And he doesn't even think through this. And then she's trying to come up with a plan for how to fix this. And she's like, okay, well, hang up, call an ambulance, say that she fell down the stairs while we were on the phone type thing. And so when he goes to hang up the phone, then suddenly Madeline is behind him and she's facing the wrong way.
Oh, I love that. And then doesn't he rush her to the hospital, but then she passes out and then she wakes up in a body bag in the morgue and she's like, Ernest, I'm in the morgue.
Yeah. And when he sees that she's not there on the bed anymore, his response is, she's going to be so mad at me.
And he's like, I'm so sorry, sir. There was nothing we could do. And they're like, where is she? And then they're like, the morgue. And he's like, the morgue. And he rushes down there. And she's like, Ernest, I'm in the morgue. First, the doctor comes in and is checking her heartbeat. And there's no heartbeat. And he's like, I've never seen this before. And that's when she passes out. And then they put her in the morgue. Busts her out of there, right?
Yeah, he does. And she has several broken vertebrae. Her body temperature was or it was 80 degrees or something. So she's way too cold to be alive.
And then he brings her back to the mansion and is spackling her up, I think, right? Helen comes by.
Yes.
They have that exchange, which is also one of the most great reveals of that. So she's like, Madeline can come down here and kiss me on that. And then she goes, kiss you on the what? And she's standing at the top of the stairs all looking fabulous again. And it's completely undone from the broken doll that she was in the last scene.
Yeah. And then Helen thinks she's being played. And she's like, what do you mean? I thought you said she was dead. And she doesn't realize that Madeline had also taken the potion. I don't even think she realizes what the potion means for herself when it comes to immortality and how she can actually be damaged. So they just have the best fight scene at this point, blowing holes into each other. The shovel, when Helen hits Madeline in the head with the shovel and she just goes all the way, shrinks down and she's talking and it's muffled.
Yes.
It's so good. They really, at this point, they're getting out all their aggression and they kind of fight it out like sisters. Yeah. And then at the end, they're like, okay, well, this is pointless.
It's kind of one of the best friendship movies too, because they start out hating each other and then you just watch them kind of be like, you know what? Maybe we can work together on this. So, and that's when I think she realizes, because she sees the pin and she's like, you took the potion? She's like, when did you take the potion? And she's like, way before you. And she's like, I hardly even needed it. And they're still competing with like, who took the potion, who needed it more. And it like, I don't know, that the whole scene was just brilliant of them duking it out in their Beverly Hills mansion. And we didn't even know that Helen took the potion until Madeline shoots a hole through her. She flies into the fountain. And then after a minute, she's like, Ernest says something like, well, what about the neighbors? They might have heard something. She's like, what neighbors? And in 15 years in Beverly Hills, have you ever seen a neighbor? Which is, I've lived in Beverly Hills and that is so spot on. So spot on. No, that was great. And then they go to take the body and like bury the body. And that's when she rises up and you see her like zombie eyes.
Yes.
And she's got this big hole in her. And that's when you realize, she took the potion too.
Yeah, it's so iconic for her. Like the eyes too are so creepy because they're like this ice blue.
Yes.
I guess there was like a mirror, like a reflective mirror or something that they use. Saw some facts about it, but the way that they came up with all these effects, and it's just insane. Such good body horror.
Right. And then I think he fixes both of them up again. They're like looking at themselves and like, oh my God, Ernest, you do amazing work or whatever. And then what comes next?
But he wants nothing to do with them at that point. Right. He's like, this is my last thing. I'm going to fix you guys up. Here are the instructions on how to take care of yourself. And they are desperate to have him because they were desperate to have him in the beginning because Madeline needed him to stay youthful. Well, that didn't go away because now she needs him more than ever. They need him forever now because forever they're going to be in this state and they're going to be falling apart. They've destroyed their bodies. So they try to get him to take the potion and they bring him back to the mansion with LaSalle. They want her to give him the potion and she's actually willing to like give it to him for free because I think LaSalle also wants him just in case something goes wrong with her. He's like a backup plan for everyone.
LaSalle von Rumen.
LaSalle von Rumen. Such a pretty name.
Sal von Rumen, played by Isabella Rossellini. Yeah, and that's when they're like, Ernest, we need you. Take the potion.
Yes. He's very gullible, but he at least has some sense. He's like, no, this is blasphemy. And he kind of starts that from the hospital on. This is not natural. This is not what life is supposed to be like. You're supposed to be able to die. He already sees this as like an abomination of nature. So he wants nothing to do with it. And even though it's so funny because like he was into plastic surgery. So why was he doing that if he like doesn't care about eternal youth and like
he probably would be MAGA now anyway.
Oh my God. Yes, he would. He would because he becomes very religious at the end.
And a hypocrite. Like you do plastic surgery and spackle living people. Why can't you spackle dead people too?
He does not have his priorities straight. He doesn't really, I think he's just like, he just cares about profits.
Yeah. He doesn't also want to be attached to these two lunatics anymore. And he's like, I'd rather just die than have to spend eternity with you bitches. So
yeah, which is fair, honestly.
I mean, they were horrible too. I wouldn't want to spend eternity with those two narcissists.
No, yeah, no. And he sees like, I don't know, if I saw that someone had like a hole blown into the middle of them and they're still alive, like at what point is living not worth it?
Right. Like he's a plastic surgeon. He's not a mortician. So like maybe he didn't want to just constantly have to embalm his girlfriend and mistress.
Yeah. Well, at the end, he wasn't doing plastic surgery anymore, right? He was doing like the, not embalming, but he was like doing the makeup.
Yeah.
Except for like the dead bodies, for the corpses. One thing that was funny that was like kind of like a callback. He's like at the bar after a funeral and one of the family members of a deceased person, she's like, oh my God, you made them look better than they looked like when they were alive, all this stuff. And like asking for like, how did you do that? And his answer is so insensitive that it makes the other character get upset and like storm off because he's like, oh, you know, because of the pores and adhesive and all this that goes into like the science of it. And he's like, spray paint.
Yeah. And they were horrified by that. But it's true. Dead skin doesn't absorb makeup the same way.
No. Do they really use spray paint on bodies?
They use stuff like it. I think they use like special type of paint or makeup that I think, because like it doesn't look as cakey. I don't know. I've seen some funerals where I'm like, woo, girl, that should have been a closed casket. And then some where I'm like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. It's really an art form that I don't have. But yeah, it's an art form. And clearly Ernest has the art form.
Yeah, he was able to make a corpse look very much alive. Yeah, so we get the Ernest repairs, which we already talked about. There's like the Bondo, yeah.
Right.
Bondo, he uses plugs, fillers, they're just like a craft project at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Industrial glue used for adhesive for the limbs because their limbs keep falling off.
Right.
And it's just so absurd, all of it.
Right, because I think like with the potion, it'll keep you alive forever. But if you die, then you're still alive, undead forever. So that's why she was like, take care of yourself because you and your body are going to be together for a very long time. And then they died that night. So they're still going to stay alive, but undead. And now they're decaying while still being alive. So he's got to keep up with the fast decay. The end of the movie has the best scene.
Oh, yes. It's so, so excellent. Yeah. So before we get to the end with Ernest, he's like hanging right from that pole and he's dangling and they're like, you have to take the potion. It's the only thing that's going to save you. He's like, nope, I'm good. Like, he makes peace with the fact that he's going to fall to his death. But then he ends up falling in the pool.
Wait, I think he was about to drink it. Because they were like, it's the only thing that'll save you. And he's about to drink it. And then one of them, I forgot which one, opens their big fucking mouth and says, we need you. So now he knows that the only reason they want him to drink is because they want him for themselves. So then that's when he drops the potion and then drops and he goes through the skylight into the pool. Yeah.
And part of my thought too, which is probably really fucked up, but like when he drops the potion, I'm like, oh my God, he wasted the potion.
Right?
It can't be easy to find that potion. You just dropped it.
I kind of would love to know where she got the potion and how she got it. Like if they ever did a backstory on that would be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to know more on that side.
That would be a story, like if they wanted to give like a prequel to the potion and Eternal Life and all that, like I would watch that. Just don't remake the actual movie.
Right. Exactly. We don't need a remake.
And I just love the way the vase, like how it like opens up like a flower. It's this pink liquid, but I know that they put like CGI effects on it to make it look like it's moving metallic. It almost looks like it's from space or something.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful. Like the bottle, the way it like just sits. I want it. I want that as a prop.
Me too. So bad. My grandma collected perfume bottles. And when she passed, I inherited all her perfume bottles. And I don't have them here. They're all packed in a storage unit right now. But she has one bottle that looks very similar to that. And it's just one of my favorite bottles. And every single time I remember growing up and I'd be in her room and in her apartment in New York. And I would be playing with her like perfume bottles. And that one always reminded me of the bottle from the film. And I would always like play with it. And yeah.
That's awesome. I wonder if you could like retrofit it to be the bottle.
I'm sure. In fact, I'm sure they have replicas of it nowadays. We should get them. We should totally get replicas of these. My friend Jordan got one of those pins and he gave me one of the pins and I have it somewhere and I don't know where and I should have busted it out for this. But he gave me a pin because we're obsessed with this film. And he's also obsessed with it. And he's a brilliant makeup artist, Jordan Liberty. So he gave me one of those pins and I always keep it in one of my phone cases.
I love that so much. And they're at his funeral when we see them again. And apparently he's had a full life. His legacy lives on with a family and children. And they talk about his contributions to society and all the things he's accomplished.
Best part when they're going through all that and they're like, we know Ernest, the storyteller, Ernest, that this is listing all the things. And then you see these two grieving widows in the background, all dressed in black with the veils. And you hear blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God. I feel like I would totally be that. I would be that bitch at my like ex-husband's. Like if you wronged me, I would like totally go to your funeral and be like, as soon as people were trying to say something positive, I'd be like, I would totally be like the blah, blah, blah.
I have a plan. So my Aunt Paula, hopefully you see this. I hate you, Aunt Paula. So I hate this woman. I've hated her my entire life. She's horrible. Anyway, my plan is when she dies, I'm going to her funeral and I'm going to wear like this fabulous, like burlesque sequiny thing. And I'm going to get up to speak and I'm going to sit on her casket and I'm going to start singing She Had It Coming from Chicago. And I mean, what's the worst they do? Kick me out?
Yeah. I mean, that's all they can do.
Right? Exactly. I think that would be the most perfect send off for my sweet Aunt Paula.
I mean, it sounds like she deserved it. She had it coming.
She had it coming.
Had it coming.
So then they get up and they walk out, right? And that's when we get to the famous ending.
Yes, because they're arguing again about the paint can. So the paint can's missing and they're just constantly bickering. She's like, well, you always misplace things. And they trip on the can. One of them trips on the can. And then the other one.
It was the same kind of scene as in the beginning when she was on the stairs. So she's slipping and she's going like, wait, help me. And she goes, the other one grabs her arm. So they both go tumbling down and they just shatter completely like broken mannequins. And then you see one of their heads spinning and goes, do you remember where you parked the car?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like that mutual destruction constantly. They're like, if I'm going down, you're going down with me.
Yep. And they did.
I mean, that's true partnership there.
That was such a good film and it's such a great ending on it.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was brilliant.
It was. I feel like at the end of their lives there, they were just like, they were in a lesbian relationship.
Yeah. And that's what I've always loved about that film is I'm like, it really showed that like it became more about friendship in the weird, fucked up kind of dynamic than it did about like them needing a man. It was just like, we just need each other and like, screw the guy and we've got this ourselves. And it was kind of like it turned out to be a story about friendship, I think.
There was definitely like an empowerment when it came to the women taking care of each other and, you know, okay, we don't need him anyway. It's fine. We've got this.
And I love how all three of the main women in it were these rich, powerful, like cunty, powerful women. You got LaSalle, who I don't even know what the hell she does, but she's super rich. Then we got Madeline, who's a Hollywood icon. Helen, who wrote that book and has now made millions and is fabulous. And it's like, they didn't need a man. And it was just, I loved that empowering aspect of it.
The men served a purpose. And when they didn't serve the purpose anymore, then they did not need them anymore.
As it should be.
Mm-hmm. So the minister describes his life as like rich and full and meaningful, noting that he died at a ripe old age, having embraced the natural cycle of life and death. And there's just like, it's very pointed dialogue. He impacts others in meaningful ways, showing immortality through impact instead of the need to physically still be present. So it's kind of like emphasizing like his legacy is living on through his children because he had children. And so he didn't need to continue living because he has all these things that he's left behind.
Right. And another thing I loved about the funeral scene was the subtle thing when they're recapping Ernest's life and they're like, Ernest, the storyteller, the family man. And they're like, we've all heard his tales of the living dead in Beverly Hills.
Yes. And it's so funny because this was like 1992, you know, like you were mentioning, like this stuff with Michael Jackson and all these like celebrities that they're saying, oh, they're still alive, like played on that.
I saw Elvis and Marilyn Monroe at the party scene and like some other people. So clearly it was like hinting that that's where all these dead celebrities went, is they just faked their own deaths and they all took the potion.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was definitely a callback to that. Well, thank you so much for like talking to me about this movie.
Thank you for having me on. This was a blast.
Of course. Yeah. And showing me all your like acting skills.
Those were just, I was quoting the movie. Hopefully we inspired people who haven't seen it to watch the movie.
If you haven't seen the movie, like, I don't know where the fuck you've been, but go watch it and go see the Broadway play. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, I've heard amazing things about it.
I'm very curious as to how they do like all the effects and stuff, because this is so heavy with like practical effects.
Yeah, I bet it's brilliant.
I know it is. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Thank you so much. And yes, you are lovely, and keep fighting the good fight.
Same.
Let's end on a high note. Weekly horror update. Lee Cronin's The Mummy is out in theaters. It's been in theaters for a little over a week, maybe 2 weeks. We've got Hokum and Deepwater coming into theaters this Friday, so tomorrow. Hokum is a story about a reclusive novelist played by Adam Scott. He visits a remote Irish inn to scatter his parents' ashes and encounters a local legend about a haunted honeymoon suite. Deepwater, from the director of Deep Blue Sea. This shark attack thriller follows plane crash survivors fighting for their lives in the middle of the Pacific. Some other horror movies coming to theaters later this month are Obsession, a supernatural be careful what you wish for tale of love and lust. Passenger, which is a road trip creature feature. Backrooms, A24's feature adaptation of the viral internet creepypasta. These are some films that came to video on demand. We have Didn't Die, a black and white zombie comedy. Forbidden Fruits, a campy coven horror film. They Will Kill You, a high-octane horror action comedy. And Heresy, which is going to premiere on Shudder on May 1st. So when this comes out. Indie horror highlights. Each month I have 2 episodes dedicated to indie horror movies where I interview the director or writer typically, and I come up with my own questions. We have a really great time. I deep dive the film with them. I see so many reviewers that are very negative about these films, and they're all very low budget because it's indie horror, but I feel like they are. The more we understand about the directing side and the writing side of things, I know I have gained a deeper appreciation for these films by talking to them. So hopefully by you guys listening to our conversations, you also gain a deeper understanding of what their intent was and just appreciation for their work. This is a weekly podcast with new episodes out every Friday. All the research, writing, and audio is done by yours truly. This is a one-woman show, and I am doing my very best. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. It really means a lot. You can find me on Instagram at Scream Queen Podcaster, Blue Sky at Scream Queen Podcast, TikTok at Scream Queen Podcast, and there's a link tree that will take you to my YouTube and Facebook page as well. Remember, take care of your body because it's the only one you get. And everlasting life might not be as pretty as you think it is. Until next time, goodbye.
Hehehe